Millington,
Hi.
the Gloria Eve Performing Arts School,
Yes.
Black-owned business, Black entrepreneurship,
That's right.
Black inspiration, Black hope, Black Black woman success, right?
That's right.
So listen, don't forget to check us out at Conversations with Malik Facebook page. Like us
Share us, love us, Instagram, Con W Malik.
at Con W Malik. Shout out to one of my co-hosts, Ramona. How you doing, Mona?
Mona!
Justin, my social media manager, who does a great job with our artwork and the website. Karina Dream Raheem, who's like producer extraordinaire. Everybody from AC for Inmates, all of the inmates that we interview, Trina Clarkson and everybody over there, Audrey Reyes. Listen, Yvonne Diva Daz, Hannah Glinsky for sending us your clients. Thank you. We are grateful. We're grateful we're still here. And I'm always honored when I'm able to sit and talk and interview somebody.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm also honored to have her because my daughter goes to her dance school.
Beautiful dancer.
And I entrusted her with my baby. And look, if you want a nice dance school to go to, take your child to the Gloria Eve. Tell them where you're located.
It's the Gloria Eve School of the Arts. It's at 155 North Franklin Street in Hemstead.
Yeah. So how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent today. It's the first day of fall.
Yes, it is.
And it was sunny and not too cold, so I'm happy.
Right. So this is that you're a fall type of person.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I'm born in September in the early part, so it's warm. But, I can take the summer, spring, and fall. I just do not like the winter.
I don't like winters either.
Like the winter.
I despise winters. And I really despise people that say they prefer the winter because of the cold. I'm looking at them like, what are you talking about?
Nope.
I don't mind the winter.
He just did that just to...
Yeah. See,
Devil's
just to
advocate
mess
over
with me.
there.
Get out. But listen, so we send over pre-interview questionnaires. I know somewhat about you, but we send over the pre-interview questionnaires to get a background of our guests before they come on. And in reading yours, and I was looking it over, I'm first of all very impressed. By the way, you know that I've told you warm things about you. I believe in giving people their flowers while they can smell them.
Right.
And so you talked about, in the caterpillar phase of the interview, of the questionnaire, you talked about your acting career took a dive when you was 19 years old.
Yes.
We're gonna start with the difficult stuff,
Yes.
then we're gonna get to the glory, then we're gonna get to all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then I see pictures of you up, and you showed me some stuff. You was an actor from a child.
Yes, I actually started acting when I was about 3 or 4. I told my mom, I remember vividly watching television, like, I want to do that. I want to be on television. And it's something that I kept saying. And I mean, I remember watching commercials like, that's going to be me.
Wow.
And I said it so much that my mother was just like, okay, well, let her just kind of go for it. No one in my family had ever been actors. I had musicians in my family.
Oh, really?
I had visual artists in my family. Yeah, I come from a very artistic family.
Okay.
So my mom, she basically left it up to my grandmother. She's like, she keeps saying she wants to be on television. My grandmother was a cosmetologist. And she was on Fifth Avenue, and one of her clients was actually Susan Lucci.
Wow.
And she said to her one day...
All my children.
Yes. This is back in... Well, I don't want to say... Well, she was Susan Lucci.
Right.
And she was very well known at that time.
Yeah.
And she said, well, how do I... My granddaughter wants to get into acting. What should she do? And she said, well, there's this magazine called Backstage Magazine. And when you can go in there and they list agents and managers and so forth. And the business was very different than it is now.
Yeah,
so she found my manager, and it was called at the time Kids and Company. And she basically contacted them, and then my mom from there, kind of took over. And, I got my headshots done. And my first things I did a lot was actually Sesame Street. I was on a lot.
Wow.
And ironically, I find that a lot of people named Mesha, my mom says this, and I thought she was joking, but she's like, that's where the name Mesha for black women because it's actually like a Russian name or a Jewish name.
Okay.
But it's a nickname. So she was like, a lot of people started naming. I was always on Sesame Street and started, all these Meshas started coming out.
Wow.
And when I do my research, a lot of women
so this
named
is the
Mesha.
Mesha origin right here.
Right.
Check it out. Yeah.
No. And from there, like my managers were great, you know. I mean, I did amazing things as a child.
Wow.
And I mean, just to name a few, I actually did. I don't know if you remember the Live Aid concert.
I remember the Live Aid.
I was with they had a group. It was two managers. My management and another management that had all these children.
Live Aid was mega.
Yeah, and we were supposed to perform live. We ran out of time. And basically, instead of us performing the songs we came there to sing, we actually were on stage for the finale. I was on stage next to Lionel Richie, 2 people over from Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so we sang the...
Paul McCartney.
Yes. We Are the World was the finale song. Patti LaBelle was on stage.
Patti.
And when they...
Bruce Springsteen.
Everybody was on there. But the thing is that me and my big hair was on like center stage in the middle of all these megastars. I have the VHS because they did news coverage for it.
Right.
And I was one of the people that ABC News interviewed. I was like all of 5 or 6. So by the time I was 6, I was doing things like that.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I was doing tons. I mean, I've worked with Bill Cosby, you know. I could, you know, the list goes on and on. But I did amazing things before I was even in junior high school, and it continued all the way through college. It continued all the way through college. I've traveled to Japan. I've done musicals, international musicals. I've been out of school for like 6-7 months at a time, tutored in hotels. I had an amazing career.
So I'm hearing that there's also could be the flip side to that, because sometimes the early success doesn't in acting and things like that doesn't necessarily translate when you get older. Sometimes you've been around it so long and you're just like, oh, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years, I want to do something else. Or
that kind of did happen. I had a lot of tough decisions to make as a child. And I think that's one of the reasons where my work ethic comes from with my students, because my mom would always say, it's your career. So it always seemed like whenever there was something outside of working for me that would come up that I really wanted to do, like as a normal kid, I got a job or I had a call back or an audition, like, you know, for major projects. And I would be like, oh, and I played sports. And I was captain of like the soccer team, captain of the basketball team. And it would be like the first game as captain, and my manager would call me the night before, like, you have a call back for X, Y, and Z. And it's almost like I was letting down my friends. So but my mom would be like, but this is your career. This is what you want. And you've invested so much time and money into these things that, so I would have to make those decisions and like let my coach and my team down.
And your friends.
And my friends, So I would say that,
so you missed out a lot of your childhood in a way.
I would say that I had a normal childhood, but I would say that I had to make very tough decisions.
And sacrifices.
As a child, yes.
A lot of sacrifices.
A lot of sacrifices.
Gotcha.
Especially leaving school in high school. I would leave school for like 5-6 months at a time, and you come back and it's kind of like,
miss all the parties.
Yeah, you're being, you have to get all the information.
The basement party.
Yeah, we didn't have social media then, so it was like you had to just catch up. We wrote letters.
There's no social media, and if you missed out on something, you just missed it.
Yes, you did.
I didn't have MySpace, right?
No.
MySpace been out for a while though.
Yeah, but come on, you're killing her right now.
Killing me. I have my stage name.
Come on.
You know, they're saying that I could be 26. Listen, this is like a second chance for my career. Okay, I'm 26.
Come on, we're trying to propel her back out.
I was giving it to the age part.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No. If he knew what the Live Aid concert was, I think that was a dead giveaway. Like what?
But nobody knows now what Live Aid was.
But ultimately, it was like choosing. That was one thing. By the time I got to college, there's a few things that happened. So one, I was tired.
Gotcha.
You know, you have to figure by the time I'm 19 years old, I've been working since I was 4.
Wow.
So that was one issue. The second issue is that my management was downsizing. A couple of the clients, they had very big, well-known household name clients.
Okay.
And I think the management, it was 2 women, they split, and then the one that kept it downsized. And I had to find new management. And ultimately, the new management that I got, she did nothing for me.
Wow.
So it was kind of like a deterrent. Like I was used to auditioning 4 or 5 times a week. I was used to working constantly. You know, I would do commercials, and I wasn't even getting auditions. And I kind of was just like, you know what? I'm in college now. I think I want to be all American girl. Yeah.
Gotcha. Let me find my way.
Right.
But then you wound up back into business for yourself. Tell us about the whole story about Gloria Eve and how you got started the school.
So when I finished college, my last year of college, I finished a year early. I wanted to get out and get back into the business. I was kind of ready to get back into it. I was signed to a production deal because I write music and I sing. Okay. And I was working heavily with that. Definitely was a struggling artist. So I was singing live with bands.
Like most.
Yeah, I was singing live, and I was in the studio pretty much every night of the week. I started doing jingles for like Hot 97 and Kiss FM. They're both the same station.
Right.
So I started doing jingles for the actual station. For anything they had coming up, I wrote them, performed them, and for individual DJs who wanted like their own jingle.
Gotcha.
So with that, I was pretty much struggling, and I just kind of was looking for just work that wouldn't interfere. It was hard to get a job. That was the thing. So I started teaching dance. One of my sorority sisters had a program. She was looking for a teacher. She's like, "You really do that?" I was like, "Yeah, I do that." So for me, it was just like a weekend thing.
Right.
From there, someone else that I knew, an older gentleman, he used to work for like a community journal and so forth. He knew that I danced. So he was like, "Do you step?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in a sorority, so I also step." And they were like, "Well, the Village of Hempstead is looking for a step program on Saturdays for girls in the summer." So I, taught them how to step.
Right.
And then around, let's say August, they were like, "Well, we're interested in putting together a dance program." So I was just like, "Okay, I could help you do that, Right. So I basically started putting it together. I started registering students into the program, and everything was a go. I was like, "Well, this is what we need: the bare minimum: one ballet bar, 2 boom boxes. This is going to be the schedule. I'm going to put the staff together." And I would, in essence, be like the director of the dance thing.
Right.
We were supposed to start like the 3rd or 4th week of September, and 9/11 happened. So
everything stopped.
Everything stopped. And
wow, too.
And one of the reasons why it was such an impact on what that program was is because at the time the director of Parks and Recreation, who was the director of the park the program in Hempstead, he was actually a fire chief.
Okay.
And they had called in a lot of engines from other places.
Gotcha.
And in essence, his engine was called in to assist with the, I guess, rescue and recovery efforts.
Yes.
And I was trying to get in contact with him for weeks, like, "Hey, did you get the bars? Do we have the boom?" I'm still pressing forward with life. And finally he called me back and was like, "We can't do it." He was like, he lost a couple of friends who were firemen that he, over the years. And
wow.
He was just like, "Listen, we can't do it. But if you want to, do it, you can go ahead. I mean, we just can't host it there." Wow. And I felt so bad. I had registered about 26 girls, and I was just like,
you don't want to leave them out there.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. So I ended up calling around. I was like, "I just need space,
Right.
So I found the Boys and Girls Club of Hempstead.
Okay.
And ultimately, they were in Hempstead, and I just started renting space, and I was just like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna just do this for the girls. I'm still writing music. I'm focused on."
You wasn't necessarily looking to be in this 19 years later.
No.
It just morphed and turned into what it
became my life.
So I tell people that just keep walking the journey, and I believe that destinies are out there looking for people.
That's right.
Like it's like actually like a force that's out there looking it's looking for hosts.
It is.
And if you just keep walking in your truth, doing the next right thing, it will find you.
Right.
And it will take you, and you'll look up years later and be like, "I'm still doing this?"
Yeah.
And so you started out doing it, and then you went to school. How long have y'all been at this location?
So we were in the church for about 3 years, and then we moved to the location we're in now. So we've been in that location. I obtained the lease in like December of 2003, but we opened up October of 2004.
Longevity.
Yeah.
So look, you're talking about a couple of things, and there's some things that I want to get into with you. So many things that I identify with, and me and you, we talk when I come up there. And with like shadows, when I'm listening to you, I'm like, "That's me." And I'm pretty sure when I'm talking, you're like, "That's me."
Yes.
So, You talked about attempting to make deals with parents with bills they never intended to pay or never did. Underpricing my service but still providing top-notch services and not having ample funds left over for the business to grow. Talk to me about that.
Ooh, that's a lot. I understand, I guess, our community.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the most important things for me is to create opportunity for people of color.
Right.
There's so many sports and activities that we are not heavily represented in.
Right.
Not because we're not exposed to it, but because we can't afford it.
Right.
Dance training is one of those things, and just like I said, the acting business is changing. I believe the dance world, as far as booking dancers, is changing.
Yes, it is.
And you're finding that the way in is by way of a choreographer that knows you. I'm not saying it's not talent-based, but it's hard to get some of these children in front of the right people.
Right.
Because some of these conventions and classes and people are trying to fly. Like, you have people of color able to take a flight to California for a month with their parents, so they can be put in front of these people. And, hopefully if their talent level is, up to par, they will be seen. But I'm finding that it's hard for our children to be seen.
It is.
And you find that just like anything else, people pay a lot for top-notch education, because you're going to be able to work with people that are experts in what they do.
Yes.
For me, being a business owner, being an artist myself, sometimes it's just, this person isn't the golden ticket,
right?
But they can definitely bring tools and give you those keys to get you to reach your goals a little faster.
Right.
But if you can't price tuition at a certain rate that you can afford them, or you can't put so many children in one class because they're all not getting the special attention. If you want to put 10 to 15 children in a class with a master who is, a legendary guru, you know what I mean, of what they do, it's gonna cost.
It's gonna cost.
So
it costs money to get these people.
It does cost money.
Yeah.
It does, and it even. And the thing about
and some of them
it too,
aren't even from the area, so they gotta travel to get to you.
I've tried to get a couple of top-notch people, and you have to pay for their flight. Even for a one-day workshop, I have to pay for the round-trip ticket.
Their hotel stay.
I have to pay for their hotel stay.
Their Uber back and forth.
Then I have to pay their fee, which is.
And then their fee.
Their fee, right? And then on top of that, you pay a booking fee.
And then on top of that, you got parents that don't want to pay.
And then you're like, in order to have for me to afford to bring this person in for like a 2-hour workshop, like I need everyone to pay $50, and that's gonna be like for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not only that, I just need you to pay your regular tuition.
Well, that too.
Because in you paying your regular tuition, I can meet expenses around here and do some things.
Well, I can honestly say that, we're starting season 19 this week. We open up on Thursday. I can honestly say that now it's very different from what it was before.
Okay.
And I think that with anything in life, you kind of get thicker skin, and you're just like, I can't make your problems my problems. I can't. You know what I mean?
Same thing you do with the daycare center.
Yeah, I can't do that, because the fact is that when you put everyone together, it creates a mountain. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, the first time you call here and the phones are off, you're gonna say, black businesses. Meanwhile, it's a combination of several people as to why we're in a situation of, if we're not able to keep the business going. So in the past, it was a bigger issue in the past. I mean, you have every now and then, you know what I mean, case by case, but that is an issue.
Caucasians is always treated differently, when it comes to businesses. You know what I mean? The Caucasians.
They usually pay their bills on time.
They do. That's because people trust them. Even when they make mistakes.
Yeah, but they do. They even.
Well, I will say yes. I will say that I've had a specific situation. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I basically had a parent tell me that I was nickel and diming her because she wanted her child to work with a choreographer on a day that he normally doesn't come to the studio, and they live far. So I just asked her to pay $5 to help cover his transportation, because this was to accommodate what she wanted. We wanted him to work with her on a day that he's normally coming, where it's worth his while. It would
Right.
either come out of his pocket or my pocket. And she said that we were nickel and diming her. And for $5. For $5. $5.
Well, the nickel was $5.
Right, yeah. And I was just like,
a nickel.
and it was just sad. So long story short, the reason why it was important, what you were saying about people treating different business owners differently,
Right.
is that ultimately she no longer studies with us, but the institution that she goes to, she pays like triple the amount of tuition she paid with me.
Wow. And she's paying it.
She's paying.
On time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
I'm sure, yeah, she was always on time. No.
Okay, she was always on time. Shout
But-
out to Miss Nickel and Dime on time.
No, but it was just like, wow, you know what I mean? And this is like not even the times when like I had her come to my backyard to work with her for free.
Oh.
I gave my free, like I did a lot. So you have to kind of take.
It's usually the ones
Yeah.
you do the most for
Yes.
that wind up resenting you. You was also
Yeah.
talking about that you have lost relationships with people that was close to you at one time or another. And when the loss is occurring, you don't realize that it's for your good. I'm reading that, I'm like, when you're in the pain, you don't realize
Yes.
it's for your good. But you said these folks were seeking an asset.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the asset was, it was beneficial to them. And once that was no longer there, they saw no need to remain. And first of all, it's very insightful, because we have to have insight with our experiences that we go through and grow through.
Yes.
But people, for the most part, are very selfish and self-centered. And whether it's somebody that you're intimate with, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, husband, wife,
Right.
kids. Sometimes the most selfish, people will be selfish that are in your circumference, that you
Yes.
that really care for, that you really love them and they love you, right? And I'm not maybe questioning their love or whatever, but people lay claim to you, and you become like a thing to them, for them to use. And as you said, when it's no longer there, right, then they go on their way, or you have to say, hey, I'm feeling used here. Talk to me about that experience, those experiences in general.
Yeah. I realized that, life is, our experience, our journey here on this earth is really about lessons, and I really feel like these lessons are preparing you for the afterlife of whatever your journey and experience will be then. You know what I mean? So I found that I had very similar situations repeating themselves over and over again in different ways from different people, but just like you said, I always found that it was the people that I did the most for that ended up truly disappointing me. And at the end of the day, like, I've never been the one. You've had situations where it could have been a legal thing. It could have been a legal matter is what I mean.
Yeah.
Meaning I could have had you arrested. I could have, you know what I mean? And I didn't, because that's not who I am.
Okay.
I don't believe in defending yourself. I'm never on the defense with anything.
Okay.
I'm always on the offense. I believe you never defend the truth. So I'm the person that if you speak ill of me, I'm not going to be defensive about it. You know what I mean? Because I know who I am, and anyone that truly knows me knows who I am.
Yeah.
So, I just had situations where there were people who called themselves helping me because they wanted to help me, but it was really helping themselves. Because it's out of obligation, they know, people pay attention, people pay attention to your character. I could honestly say that I know that I'm a caring person, and I couldn't see anybody in a room with me suffering or anything and, you know, say like, oh, you know, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm out. I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to solve it. So
when you said that, you said I fed
I've
people,
literally fed people.
them. And then funds went out of your way to transport them.
I would drive past my house to take, you know, this is like an everyday thing. You know, I've had a couple of people that were helping me steal from me in my business. Wow. And I've gone as far as, if you had a child involved, I let the child stay. I honored our agreement that I would still let them study. And then at the end of that, you know, when you were supposed to do your, after this, you're supposed to still do your part. And I'm still, you know, feeling like, okay, maybe you're going to come through. Then you're still coming to me like it's not going to happen. And that's when I have to say, you know, I think that's what shocks people about me, is that it's like they're kind of shocked when I do that, because I think I let you go too far. You know what I mean? But they don't know that I already know where the destination ends. I know where it ends. But you think that you're going to keep, you know, going with it. And then when that's all said and done, I don't tell anybody why you're not there anymore. People are asking me. I never speak ill of anybody, even under those circumstances. And then it comes back to me. Oh, she's not a nice person.
You must be a Libra or Virgo.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo. Definitely a Virgo.
Virgo?
Yeah, and, you know, that was hurtful.
Touch something she said?
Yeah. I'm close to Virgo. I'm a Libra. I'm the 23rd. So, 13th?
I'm the 7th.
Oh my God. 4?
Yeah, I know. For me, right? For me. Yeah.
You give your left arm.
I give.
Right.
Listen, I give everything, and like I said, the worst part about it is when it comes back to you. You know what I mean? And then you find that this person, and this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I'm not responding to. Now you're all friends. And you guys have your version of what it is, but we both know what the truth is.
Yeah.
And here we are. I mean, this could be 7 years later. This could be 10 years later. I mean, to this day, this could be 5 years later. We both know what really happened. Mm-hmm. And no one, except like my mother and like some close people to me, know what really happened. And I'm not. You can still come to me like, so what really happened? I'm like, nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not going to keep the negativity going. But we know what it is. But trust me, you'll never get close to me like that again. Ever.
Because the truth needs no support or
never
defense.
defended. You never needs defended.
You know, but you got through those things you talked about in here by believing in yourself. Yes. So I was having a conversation with somebody recently, and they were talking about their belief in God and their faith in God. And I said to them, but do you believe in yourself?
Absolutely.
And do you have faith in you?
That's where it starts.
I'm not taking away from. Look, listen, I know I'm here by the grace of God and my ancestors. I get that. I'm not questioning that. I know where inspiration comes from. Right. I got grace and mercy tatted on my right arm. I'm a street dude. I know I survived from the prayers. I'm not a big church person, but I know the people from the church prayed for me. I get why I'm here.
Yes.
But everybody wants to kind of use God as an scapegoat. Exactly. So when it fails, it's like, you know, oh, it was God's will. Or when they're blessed, it's like God did it. And then there's no personal accountability.
Right.
Do you believe in yourself? And do you have faith in yourself? And when I read this, I said, here you go.
Yeah, she does. I mean,
I got to it because I have belief in myself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure you know this. Anyone that has been in business for themselves knows it's not easy. You know, people always think, and that's one thing, like I said, I've been on an incredible journey, especially over the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. I know that I have grown a lot. And one thing that I realized is that you have to believe in yourself. You know what I mean? You have to believe in yourself. Thank you.
Sure.
as a business owner, sometimes the numbers don't add up.
Yeah, sometimes
They
It
don't have.
just doesn't add up.
I mean, if we make mistakes, just
Yeah.
like normal human beings, the numbers don't add up.
Yeah, or it could just be.
You gotta recalibrate, and you
have
gotta
to You have to sometimes work triple as hard, and I found myself even in business when things were okay, just kind of dumbing down only because. There was a time when there's all these memes and things going around like don't dim your light for someone else, and
yes.
And I've learned that
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay in the shadows because I don't want you to think that what I mean. It's like so it's just like there's highs and lows in business, and when there's a high, like hey, there's a high, and then just understand there will be a low.
And
What I mean, and you have to plan for that.
My nephew Kareem, may peace be with him. He used to say to me, Malik, keep your head up but your nose down.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your head up but your nose down.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to just.
It's like boxing.
Yeah. I be seeing you box.
Yeah, I box. So.
Yo, you gotta follow her. She gets busy.
Yes, I'm sick. I'm like, yeah, keep your chin down, but you gotta keep your,
a couple weeks
up.
ago, she was going through. I said, yo.
Wow.
If she's with a dude and he slips up and slaps her, he gonna have problems.
It's a reflex, yeah. It's a reflex.
Yo, you talk about all of the cadences. Here. She went on for like 5 minutes. I said, oh!
I gotta check that out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But listen, so I got some questions for you.
Yes.
Let's talk dance school stuff.
Okay,
we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
What are the most important qualities an owner of a dance school has to have to be successful?
compassion. I think that some people, they think that being tough all the time is the way to go. Everyone isn't built differently, and everyone's coming into your institution for a different reason. Some people are coming into your institution because they like it, because they want to be around it. It's something that they enjoy being. But they have to understand that everyone is not going to be a star. Everyone is not going to make it. But what are they getting out of your program? That's what's most important.
And what is being a star and what is making it?
Right, meaning everyone thinks that they're going to be on tour with Beyonce. That's the big, I'm just going to say, or Chris Brown. And the funny part about it, sometimes people always come to me and they want to, I guess, rate my school or validate us based upon the Chris Brown bookings and or Beyonce bookings. You know what I mean? For me, I can say I have so many students right now that have finished college. They're working. They're 30 years old. They're married.
They didn't have babies
they have
at
children.
17.
Right.
They're not out there,
Right.
slutting it
Some
up.
of them are. Some of them have their own businesses now. Some of them are dentists. I just went to one of my students. Just got married on Sunday.
Wow.
She's a dentist. I think she's 27.
That's what I'm talking about.
She started. Well, she's like family, but she started with Gloria Eve when she was 12 or 13.
That's making it.
Long time.
That's making it.
Yeah, and then I have students that are former students are living in California and are making their way. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing.
So they're pursuing dance.
They're pursuing. Some students are majors in dance programs. One of my former students had a full ride to Juilliard in the city. He just started his freshman year. He started studying when he was much younger.
But my thing is, if somebody does wind up being one of the girls that's in the video, those cute girls I'm saying, the single ladies.
Right.
Who the ones that are next to her that look as good as Beyonce.
Right.
Even if they did wind up, that's not the one that made it.
Right.
All of them made it that did something with their lives.
Yes.
Even the ones that wind up working for MTA or
See, because the thing is that the program helps you to develop first discipline and perseverance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting, I would expect something different from you than from you, because you guys are on different levels.
Right.
You have a different level of confidence in yourself.
Right.
You have totally different skill sets. And you know what I mean? That's when I said that you have to have compassion, that I'm not going to write you off because you have no rhythm. You don't know your right from your left. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? I'm going to celebrate the success that today you clapped 4 out of 5 times on beat. You know what I mean? And sometimes that confuses the students. Well, Miss Mesha, why are you so hard on me? And I'm like, because you're not like this person. I'm expecting X, Y, and Z from you because this is what you're bringing to the table. It's not taking away from you.
I heard you can be hard, by the way.
I'm a tough teacher.
Yo,
I'm a tough teacher.
I smiled
I
and
couldn't
joked
tell.
with her.
Oh no, that's the problem too. I told you, people.
Yo.
Do you know what happens?
Yaya,
People see
you know how
the
many times Yaya has come down and got in the car and been like,
definitely run-throughs. Definitely for run-throughs. You know why? Because you're cheating yourself. And again, it's about the discipline and the work ethic because I'm not going to always be there. And when you're in college or whatever you're doing in life and it's not easy, you have to be your biggest cheerleader because it's no one's job to cheer for you. And you know, like I was there. I've been in class and fooled around and know that I'm just tired. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah. But being tough, it's tough love. And sometimes they don't get
it right away. They eventually understand. Because but I still pull them aside afterwards and say, listen, I need you guys to pull, you know what I mean? It's not
I heard you. Ooh.
It's not this all the time, you know what I mean? But if you come on the dance floor and you're gonna give me beneath you and think that I'm gonna accept that, I don't. You know what?
Oh, I get you.
Excuse me. I'll like to see the next piece. You come. This is just disrespectful.
Yeah.
To yourself.
Ooh.
Wow.
To yourself, because this is why you want to present yourself, and I'm trying to teach them that how it feels in rehearsal is it's gonna be even harder on stage because once your adrenaline gets going, you have to train like anything can happen.
So I'm sure in cases like that you deal with the
never,
attitude.
Never.
No, they don't play with her.
No. You know what it is? Because I'm not I treat them with respect. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna like it, but I'm not there to tear you down. So I'll say, dancers, I'll press pause on the music. Dancers, thank you so much. I was like, I don't want to see this. If you're gonna present it like that, I don't want to see it. Try again next time you come on the floor. Next, please get ready. So I'm not I'm not doing that. I'm too, honestly, and I've been doing for almost 20 years in my own business. So I just don't, listen, I'm not trying to get any wrinkles or anything like that.
Yeah, create no cancer cells or nothing.
I'm not.
Okay, so how do you, speaking of wrinkles and stuff like that, how do you keep yourself healthy and balanced?
Cool. Oh my goodness. So it started off first with me with my eating. That's how it first started. Because I started, I became like a vegan about, I did
that for a while.
I don't know, like almost like 8 years ago. So like vegetarian 8 years. I've only been doing fish since like 2012.
Okay.
2013. Since 2013, I've only been fish. And I started getting into eating healthy because I am in a physical industry with dance and also being an actress. You know, the camera adds 10 pounds to you. So I just want to be, that was that first, right? And then as I
So you haven't slipped up and had a Shake Shack?
No, I haven't. I mean, I eat what I like. So I mean, clearly I eat, but I eat.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
I started doing my things. It's been 8 months.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
8 months, no meat. So
Well, I haven't had meat. Okay, I can't tell you since when, but I haven't had meat since like if I can give you a number, it's been like 25 years anyway. I stopped eating meat 25 years. I stopped eating chicken in 2013.
Wow.
Yeah. So it started with that, but then as I dove more
chicken.
into my spirituality, I started realizing that meditating became a major part of staying healthy.
Yes.
A major part, because if I'm not right within, I can't perform right.
Right.
Me too.
External, I can't. Like, those are the days that I'm not tired. I got plenty of sleep, but it's harder to get up. You kind of feel like you're dragging. You want to sleep a little longer, but it's not because
it's all in your mind sometimes, your thought process. It's funny that you said that, because what you intake in your body is just, it's amazing how the bad foods make you feel bad and the good foods make you feel good.
Yeah,
but what you intake, period, whether it's what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, who you're around, intaking people's energies, who you have sex with. I mean, listen, you have sex with the wrong person. Have sex with somebody that ain't good for you. For a woman, the male is entering you.
Yeah, the woman's always is the receiver.
For the male,
it's harder for a woman because they're more emotional.
Yeah, but check it out. For the male, you're entering
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
And let that person's electrodes
Those
rub up against you.
That energy. It's very.
It'll change you over time, and you'll be bugging out and not know what happened.
It'd be like an out of body experience.
Well,
No, you'll start doing yeah.
Well, it depends. Okay, so sometimes dance schools can be a lot of drama.
Yes.
Real cliquey.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep it? I haven't really noticed that there. And I've been at places and experienced places where it was like, just from growing up in the dance schools in my area and stuff like that. How do you keep it? Do
you mean parent wise or student wise?
Both.
Both. Student wise, I don't encourage that at all. Okay. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you guys have to work together. You have to be cohesive, just like an R&B group on stage. If it's one of those things y'all move at the same time. You guys, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because you guys are working together, so you have to be on one accord. So we kind of try, it happens though. You can't tell people they can't. Like, if you like this group of girls, and it's going to happen, but we try to make sure that you're inclusive when you're in the establishment.
But cliquey in a sense where there's a group of girls that dominate and then they make everybody else that come to the school. It's like you have to have their approval for you to feel happy in the school.
Yeah, that doesn't fly with me. I'm definitely, I found that sometimes
you got a nice environment.
It's exhausting because those things have been brewing though. It can brew, but you have to kind of you have to interject.
You got to keep your
So there isn't no
senses
assessment
and your feelers.
There isn't no assessment. It's just anybody you would accept into the program.
Anybody can come in, yes. But then you do have some girls who are kind of like, well, this is our class and we're the best. You know what I mean? And that's fine because you should be confident. Yes. You should think you are the best and work hard. But you should also not make anyone, let's say someone has never ever danced before and they're 15 years old. They should come in there and you should encourage them because when you were 7 and never ever danced before, the other 7-year-old had been dancing for 7 years, and exaggerating, didn't make you feel like that.
You know what I liked? We was in the reception area, and I was registering Yaya, and I don't know why she didn't come down and get in part of the interview. I told you he was coming. These kids are crazy. And
I'm gonna text her.
Yeah, and a couple of the girls came over and introduced themselves to her.
Oh, okay.
Which was dope.
Yeah. Oh, this when you first,
when
correct?
I first.
Oh, nice. They make me proud. Thank you, girls.
They introduced herself. See, with me, it's the little things.
Yeah, I try to tell them that. Like, with your first day somewhere, that just makes you feel, at least you know one person's name.
Mm-hmm. It's the little things.
Those things is definitely,
well, that makes, I'm proud. Girls, thank you.
Good job, girls. Good job. Come here, eat, girls. Okay, well, couple questions. We got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because then we got to do the drops, some pictures, etc., etc. So, what are the 3 most important things in life that you can't do without? The question is about to start.
Chocolate? No, I'm just joking.
So strap in. There's a strap over there. If you want to strap in.
Well, 3 most important things in life that I can't do without. My spirituality is definitely one I cannot do without. Mm-hmm. Music. I can't do without music. And genuine friendships, relationships rather. My family and anyone that's a true friend to me is my family. So just genuine people.
Do you have like a retirement date in mind?
No, I don't.
Musically, who are you listening to nowadays?
I like her. Fela Kuti is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Bob Marley, Donny Hathaway.
Old school, new school.
Yeah, new school singers. I mean, there really aren't that many. I do like. Oh my goodness.
Well, you said her.
Yeah, I did. There's another girl. I can't think of her name right now.
I was bumping her on Sunrise Highway. The dude next to me kind of looked over like
old school guy. So
yeah.
She got this new joint I downloaded, and I was like, I can't remember it right now, but yeah.
There's another girl. She sang the song The Weeknd. SZA. I like SZA. I do like SZA.
SZA's dope. Mm-hmm. She has her own little favorite dessert.
Oh, chocolate cake.
You want
in the middle?
It's like rich dark chocolate cake. Yeah.
Chocolate on chocolate?
Yeah.
Not too sweet though.
Not too sweet. I mean, I can't do much because I'm not used to eating sugar. So
Yeah.
if I go to like Cheesecake Factory has the
Oh my God.
you know what I'm talking about?
I might ride over there
I
tonight
can't
and
do
get a
half of it with some water. I just like half and I need water. I'm like going to diabetic shop.
Crazy for those.
Yeah.
I feel the glucose
I do.
in my
I feel
veins.
like I'm about to have a heart attack. I'm like,
Okay, so you're on an island, desert island, and Genie comes over to you, Black Genie, cool, and he says, "Listen, I'm gonna grant you some wishes, but you get one choice, and this is what you have to have for the rest of your days. You're never gonna be around anybody else. It's just you stranded on the island, like Tom Hanks." And he says, "You get one meal. What would you eat? What would you eat every day?"
oh man,
One meal.
one meal. If I had to choose, it's hard. It's hard. One meal. Because I know I would get tired of anything after every day.
But you get one, so it better be
One meal. Wow. Okay. I would definitely have to choose something fish because I would need the protein to survive.
Okay.
So I probably would do. You know what I could do? I would do saltfish, ackee, and dumplings and yams, like Jamaican breakfast.
Still spoken like a
I'm Jamaican.
a true Jamaican. Right?
Yes.
One song. One album.
One song or one album?
One album.
One album. An album that I definitely listened to from top to bottom, and I know I could listen to it again. I listened to it for probably a year straight. Was Lauryn Hill, X Factor.
Go.
One beverage.
Water. Alkaline water in a glass bottle. Let me be specific.
Alcoholic drink. One.
White wine. Moscato.
Give me one word to describe Mesha.
Let me not be shy. Because I feel like this word, it embodies all of the things I feel I embody. And it's goddess.
One word to describe Gloria Eve.
Epic.
One sentence to all of the dancers that are dancing now, or dancers that are soon to come, or young black women that are on up. One sentence what you would want to say to them.
Believe in yourself.
And finally, what would you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done?
Wow, that's a lot. I definitely would want to be a mentor more than anything else, so that, you know, whether you see, I've maintained relationships with my students who are now adults, you know, so, you know, I want you to call me, just like I have a mentor who was my ballet teacher, and I have my African dance teacher that I started with them when I was 4 and 5, and I still have their cell phone numbers to this day. Nice. They may come to the GE show, they may catch me at a performance I'm in, like to this day, and they might come, you know what I mean? I want that. You know, I want them to call me and ask me for advice, just like I've called them and asked them for advice. So I would like to mentor them through whatever goals they have. I also want to create more. You know, I'm a creative, so I'm not just the owner. I'm a teacher, and I'm also a creative. So I write music. I'm working on writing 2 musicals right now. Working on, you know, building and creating. So for my legacy, it's to say, okay, well, she was just overall a creative. You know, it wasn't just in one particular genre. Yeah. In addition to being a mentor and helping to create more opportunities for people that look like us.
So last but not least, what would your final departing words be from the show? What would you like to just say to anybody who's listening to this, who might be in the beginning stages of the journey of being a businesswoman or opening their own school? What would you like to say to them?
I would definitely say that, like I said, that one phrase I would tell any of my students, past, present, or future, is to believe in yourself. And that is like number one. And more, believing in yourself also means listening to yourself.
Wow.
And following your intuition. I know people always talking about, intuition and being intuitive these days, but, I've learned, the hard way, I feel like in life where, I can meet you and maybe in that first instance that I meet you, I'm like, I don't like him. There's something about him. You know what I mean? And I'll just be like, and then maybe a day later, I'll be like, okay, I don't know, I just missed, no. You know what I mean? Your intuition. And don't get me wrong, no, he's definitely a great guy. I'm not talking about him. No, because, you might just skip a part of the interview. Like, she said she doesn't like him. No. But I've had that.
What did he say to her in the interview?
Yeah. But I've had the situations where I've met people and I was just like, it was that initial thing, or you have that little inkling and you follow your intuition. I give the benefit of the doubt a lot, but you have to follow your intuition and instinct. So listen to yourself. And, I've always been drawn to the arts. You know what I mean? I know for a fact that this is what I'm supposed to do. Being as long as I've been doing what I'm doing, I've tried so many other things when you kind of get frustrated and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to still be around the arts. I'm going to apply to law school for intellectual property for grad school. I'm going to go ahead and just do that because, I don't know. I need something to fall back on. And it's like, nope, get right back here. Nope. Everything that I've ever tried to do different has brought me back here. So I'm not fearful. So I would say definitely listen to yourself and understand that, what your purpose is, those things that you have an interest in. And parents, if your children are like really passionate about something, you need to listen to them and like give them the tools they need to make sure they can take care of themselves as adults. If you're not selling paintings and you've been trying to do it for 25 years, you haven't sold not one, keep painting. But find something else to go with it. But I think that we don't know what our purpose is, but our passions and our desires, that those things show us what it is that we came here to do. You know what I mean? And then I would also, I think I just left my train of thought. I just got so wrapped up in that. But I would say just listen to yourself and believe in yourself. It's so funny. People believe in themselves, but only believe in themselves more when somebody else comes in and validates it.
Right.
Why is that?
Don't need validation.
You never need validation. Only validation is from yourself. You need to validate yourself. Clap for yourself the loudest, because everybody that's anybody right now, there was no one clapping for them at some point.
Walking your truth.
Walking your truth.
So listen, tell everybody how they can find you.
Okay, well, you can find us on the web at gloriaeveschool.com. On IG, it's at Gloria Eve Arts. On Facebook, it's the Gloria Eve School of the Arts.
And listen, it's been another great episode. Thank you for honoring us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff.
It's been a long time in the making.
Yes.
She called you Jeff, not Jesse.
I know. I got it right.
And remember, on behalf of the Conversations with Malik crew, featuring my man Jeff Joe.
Yes, sir.
Remember, as we end the show like we always do, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.
Peace out.
Nice.